Good day everyone! I am Lyca Rosagas and today I'll be presenting about the art history of Japan. So Japanese art. Japanese art consists of a wide range of art styles and media that includes ancient pottery, sculpture, ink painting and calligraphy on silk and paper, ukiyo paintings and woodblock prints, ceramics, origami, bonsai and more recently, the manga and anime. So we all know naman na manga and anime is so famous nowadays. Especially dito sa ating class is meron din namang nagbabasa ng mga manga and anime. And this Japanese art covers wide range forms of arts from ancient pottery that includes the sculptures and also the traditional arts like origami and bonsai and also the modern ones like those manga and anime that I've mentioned earlier. So these art forms reflect from Japan's rich cultural heritage. So let's begin with the Buddhist sculpture and Jomon pottery. During the Asoka period, Buddhism arrived in Japan. So it influenced the art through serene and symbolic statues like this Buddhist sculpture. And on the other hand, the Jomon pottery, one of Japan's oldest forms, is known for its cord mark patterns. So this pottery is famous in the Jomon period because it has a cord mark patterns. And next is the Japanese art. Japanese architecture during the 17th to 19th century reflects a blend of aesthetic, religious, and practical influences rooted in Shinto and Buddhist traditions, and it emphasizes simplicity, harmony with nature, and spatial flexibility. Ibig sabihin na ang architecture during the 17th to 19th century sa Japan ay nagpapakita ng impluwensya mula sa Shinto and Buddhism. It emphasizes also the simplicity and harmony with nature. So they refer their arts with nature. So next are the art's characteristics. So Japanese art is characterized by its delicate beauty, respect for nature, and incorporation of symbolism drawn from the natural world and mythology. So Japanese art emphasizes delicate beauty with heavy influences from nature and mythology. So ang mga ginagawang art ng ancient Japanese is connected to the nature. So they made their artwork connected to nature and influences with mythology. So naniniwala rin ang mga Japanese about sa different mythology. So they relate their artwork sa iba't ibang mythology na kanilang pinaniniwalaan. So there's also a strong reverence from nature which is symbolized in many artworks. So makikita naman natin na sa different artworks ng Japanese ay nasisymbolize talaga yung nature. So next up is the key elements of Japanese art. So the key elements they use in creating their art is the using of bright colors, flat imagery, bold lines, and natural materials like paper and wood. And it also features a strong emphasis on line, the flattened space, and an asymmetrical composition. Yes, as you can see here in the picture, makikita naman natin kung ano yung mga elements na nagamit nila sa paggawa ng kanilang artwork. You can see the bright colors, like here may color blue, and then sa paggawa ng kanilang temple, there's a bright color red, and it also has a flat imagery and the bold lines. The bold lines exhibited here is in creating the temple. Napapakita talaga dito kung paano nila nagawa yung lines, and also they made their artworks from natural materials like paper and wood. So they also use a flattened space and asymmetrical compositions. So next is the history of Japanese art. So we will start from early periods or the prehistoric and early historic. Dito talaga nagsisimula yung Japanese art. So the Japanese art started from Jomon period. The Jomon period started on 10,500 to 300 BCE. So it is characterized by intricate decorated pottery, particularly the Jomon style, a hallmark of this period. So sa unang panahon, noong Jomon period, ay kilala ang kanilang decorative pottery. So sikat ang Jomon period sa pottery. So yung ginawa nilang pottery like shown kanina is made from the Jomon period. So next is the Yayoi period. So during the Yayoi period, in the 300 BCE to 300 CE, they introduced the metalwork, including the bronze and iron, and the use of the potter's wheel. It is the marking a transition to more advanced society. So during the Yayoi period naman, ay nag-introduce ng metalworking. So dito na nagsimula ng paggawa ng mga artwork using a metal. And isa ring sikat sa kanilang period is the pottery wheel. So yung pottery wheel na yan is ginagamit nila sa paggawa ng mga potteries. Yung pottery na nagmula sa Roman period is na-develop noong Yayoi period. Kaya nagkaroon sila at na-invent nila yung potter's wheel. So, the next one is coffin. So, let's proceed to the coffin period, where it started on the 250 to 538 CE. It is known for a large earthen burial mounds. The coffin, it is called coffin, and associated with funerary objects like haniwa or the clay figurine. As I've done my research, these coffin are the earthen burial mounds. So they are like large pile of soil or like rocks. They are large pile of soil kung saan kung tinatawag na libingan para sa atin. And it is associated with these funerary objects like haniwa. So these haniwa or the clay figurines, they created this like it formed a warrior or a person. This coffin is a rectangular earthen burial mounds, and this haniwa is placed around this coffin, and naniniwala sila na if they place the haniwa around the burial mounds or the coffin, is naniniwalaan nila na this haniwa will protect the deceased. Yun ang paniniwala nila about sa coffin and haniwa. Let's proceed to the classical and early medieval periods, where Buddhism and cultural development. So first is the Asoka period, where it began on 538 to 710 CE, where it is the period of the introduction of Buddhism, leading to an increase in Buddhist architecture, sculpture, and painting. So in Asoka period, during the Asoka period, Buddhism was introduced and influencing the creation of the Buddhist temples. So during these periods is nakakreate na mga Japanese people ng Buddhist temples. So ang Buddhist temples ay inspired sa pag-introduce ng Buddhism. So the next one is Nara period. It started on 710 to 794 CE. This era saw a flourishing of Buddhism with Chinese architectural styles incorporated into Japanese temples and Buddhist arts. In this period is na-adapt na ng Japanese people ang Chinese style sa paggawa ng architecture. So in their architectural styles is na-adapt nila ang Chinese styles sa paggawa ng kanilang mga temples and Buddhist arts. So the next one, the last classical period, is the Heian period, where it started on 794 to 1185 CE. So it is a period of great cultural and artistic development, where particularly in Kyoto, with religious art, literature like the Tale of Genji, and calligraphy thriving. So in this period, in the Heian period, there was a flourishing of literature and art that was created particularly in Kyoto. So na-develop dito ang religious art and literature like the Tale of Genji. So dito rin nagsimula ang paggawa ng calligraphy. The next periods are the medieval and later periods. It is where the military, political, and secular art happens. So first is the Kamakura period, where it began on 1185 to 1333 CE. It is a period of religious art, particularly sculpture and military metalwork, and also reflecting the rise of samurai class. So sa Kamakura period, dito musbong ang samurai culture at religious art. So in Muromachi period, it began on 1336 to 1573. In this period, they saw changes in castle architecture, calligraphy, and painting, with the development of Zen gardens and ink painting. So dito sa period na ito ay nagkaroon ng Zen Buddhism, where it influenced the art, especially the ink paintings and Zen gardens. And then, nagkaroon rin dito ng pag-develop sa castle architecture and calligraphy and painting. Then the third one is Azuchi Momoyama during the 1573 to 1603. So this period is marked by a revival of secular art, including the vibrant murals and the development of tea ceremony art. Dito na nagkaroon ng development of vibrant murals and the development of tea ceremony art. So dito nagsimula ang tea ceremony art during the Azuchi Momoyama period. So let's proceed to the Edo period, where it began in 1603 to 1868. And in this period of the Tokugawa shogunate saw the rise of the local styles like the woodblock printing or the ukiyo-e, which depicted the scenes of everyday life. During the Edo period, the famous ukiyo-e is the woodblock printing, where it became the most popular artwork. Ukiyo-e means the pictures of the floating world, where the pictures of the floating world, it means that urban pleasure or seeking a lifestyle in the urban pleasure. So this ukiyo-e depict the scenes of everyday life, the nature, the mountains, the waves, the flowers and animals, and also the beautiful women, the famous stories, myths, and also including the landscapes. So next is the modern and contemporary periods. So during this modern and contemporary periods, it is influenced by the Western and also in the modernization. So in Meiji period, in the 1868 to 1912, a period where rapid modernization and the opening of Japan to Western influence, leading to a decline in traditional crafts and the rise of new artistic styles. So during this period, the Western influences changed the art scene in Japan as they started modernizing. They also declined the traditional crafts and ginagamit na nila yung mga modernized na new artistic styles. So let's proceed to the Taisho period. Taisho period in the 1912 to 1926. So this continued the process of adapting and transforming foreign models, particularly in architecture, with structures emulating modernist trends like Bauhaus and Art Deco. So dito is naging mas modernized pa ang kanilang mga artworks. Yung paggawa nila ng mga architectures like kanilang mga bahay or mga temples is na-modernize na, transforming into a foreign models. So nagagaya na nila yung mga modernized like architectures na makikita natin sa ibang bansa, and particularly sa kanilang mga structures, nagagamit na nila yung mga modernist trends. And the last one is the Showa period. It is in the 1926 to 1989. So in this period, they saw the rise of the new and traditional arts, including the painting, manga, and film. So during the Showa period is musbong ang traditional and new arts sa paggawa ng painting, manga, and film. So sa paggawa ng mga mangas and films and also the paintings is nagagamitan na nila ng technology. Nagkaroon na dito ng technology sa paggawa ng mga painting, including the digital art. Hindi pa naman really developed, but nagagamitan na nila ng technology. So next is the architectural design and features. So ang makikita natin sa architectural design and features are the elevated wooden structures, tiled and thatched roofs, sliding doors, fusuma or shoji, open interiors and tatami floors, verandas, and indoor or outdoor integration. So, sa architectural design and features na makikita sa mga Japanese architectures ay, especially sa kanilang homes, sa kanilang mga kabahayan, is that Japanese traditional homes feature the wooden structures, the elevated floors, the tatami mats, and the sliding doors. So, makikita natin sa mga bahay nila, meron silang mga sliding doors. And also, these elements create a sense of balance, blending indoor and outdoor spaces harmoniously. And the next one is the motifs and cultural influences. First is Shintoism, where simplicity, nature, and spirituality. And in the Buddhism is the Zen minimalism and meditation spaces, and the temples, shrines, and gardens central to community life. So, the motifs and cultural influences of the Japanese art is that Shinto and Buddhism greatly influenced the Japanese art, especially in temples and gardens where designs are meant to reflect harmony with the natural world and spiritual connection. So, nai-influensyahan ng nature and natural world and spiritual connection ang kanilang motifs sa paggawa ng art. So, the next is, I will show you the different Japanese famous artworks. So, first is The Great Wave of Kanagawa by Katsushika Hokusai. It is created during the Edo period in 1831, and it is the famous woodblock print during that time. It is stored or archived in the Tokyo National Museum. And the next one is the Katsushika Hokusai also is the artist. He also created The Dream of the Fisherman's Wife. The next one is Woman Wiping Sweat from Her Brow, 1798. It is the 10 Studies in Female Physiognomy, a collection of rhyming beauties. It is created by Kitagawa Utamaro. So the next artwork is The Japanese Spirit number 14. It is created by Tenyuya Hisashi. And the next one is the famous Japanese architecture. So there are different and there are a lot of famous Japanese architecture, but here are some that I will show you. First, the Byodo-in Temple. The next is Takayama Gashozukuri Farmhouse. Yes, it's just a farmhouse, but it's a beautiful farmhouse. I think it's a traditional farmhouse. And the next one is the Hikuni Castle. This Hikuni Castle is created during the Jomon period. This Hikuni Castle is created during the Jomon period, or the starting of the Japanese art. And the last one is the Horyoji Pagoda. So this Horyoji Pagoda and the Hikuni Castle also represents the country's architectural legacy. So these artworks and architectures are famous for their creative designs, and that represents the country's architectural legacy. So that will be all. Thank you and God bless.